Welcome everyone to November 24th, 2020 City Council meeting. The meeting is being recorded by video and audio in accordance with the state open meeting law, consistent with the governor's orders, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law and banning gatherings of more than 10 people. This meeting will be conducted by remote participation. Additionally, all votes taken by the city council during this and future council meetings will be by roll call vote. So if you're calling in on a phone, you can press *9 to request to speak. If you are watching on a computer or device, there is a raise hand button that you can tap or press to request to speak, and I'll acknowledge you during the public hearing or oral communications part of the meeting. So press either of these options during oral communications and the public hearing to be recognized to speak. In attendance, in no particular order, I'm just going to start off on the right and go to the left of my screen. We have myself, Councilor LeBlanc. We have Councilor McCarthy. We have Councilor Pett, Councilor Holmgren, Councilor Gilman, Councilor Memhard, Councilor Nolan, and I think that's it. Do we have Jamie? I know Melissa's not going to be here this evening. She called. She had a last-minute emergency, but I don't see Jamie on the call at all. And Val, we have two of you.
I know. I was having technical difficulties, so I'm in two places. So I'm gonna get off one.
Okay.
You know what's better than one, Val? Two.
That's a little overwhelming, isn't it, Sean?
Be careful
Don't tell
what you
Paul.
wish for there, Sean.
We also have in attendance this evening our Mayor Taken. We have our acting CAO, Vanessa Krozik. We have our police chief, Ed Connolly. We have our CFO, John Dunn. We have our general counsel, Chip Payson. And we have Pete Sutera from our local police department. So we'll be getting to Pete in a little bit. And we have Krishna Basu from our legal department and our always here city clerk, Joanne Cenas. Madam Clerk, we have the next order of business, please.
The next order of business, you're gonna do the
Nope.
introduction?
Yes. So
Okay.
we have somebody special this evening. So I'm going to leave it up to the mayor and our police chief to introduce a little something fun this evening.
Well, first of all, thank you very much. And I am actually going to hand it over to Ed because I'll be just sitting there going all excited because I'm so excited about our new wonderful, positive new family member to the police department. I'm going to let Ed introduce Pete for you, and then Pete will introduce you to our new family member.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, everybody. Thank you, Mr. President, for having us here. We're very excited to introduce you our new furry member of the Gloucester Police Department, Ace. I'll just tell you really quick that Officer Sutera certainly deserves all the credit for this. He has been knocking at my door for months now, talking about the benefits of this dog. We did a lot of research. Lieutenant Nicastro and Officer Sutera, along with Officer Mike Scola, did a ton of outreach to different organizations to try to get funding for the dog, and it all seemed to come together almost overnight. And so with the support of the mayor's office, I really believe this is, as the mayor could tell you, this is already paying dividends. The dog, and I'll certainly let Pete explain, the dog has already been activated today in the school, had a positive experience with the student. And I really think this is not only great for Gloucester, but just within our own profession. It's kind of setting a new model of a way that we can use, sort of out of the box thinking around problem solving and policing. So no one wants to hear from me anymore. I will pass this off to Officer Sutera and Ace to explain Ace's new role in the department.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief. How's everybody doing?
Very
My
good.
name is Pete Sutera, school resource officer at O'Malley, as you all know. This is my new buddy, Ace. He's not a lap dog by any means, but he is on my lap. So Ace came from a breeder called Gofi. They train for this specific reason. They call them community resource dogs. Like you guys have all heard from the press conference and everything else. If you haven't heard it, they're bred to interact with children. They're bred to be used as service animals. They do breed them for the veterans, retired veterans or whatnot, disabled veterans. So basically they're service dogs, but in my opinion, they're more of a therapeutic dog. So I think that that word service is a little bit of a stereotype. They do a lot of service, but I think in this role for what we're going to use him for, I think just the therapeutic side of it is going to pay dividends immediately. And it already has. I mean, Ace had a busy day today and he was just supposed to be going on a couple tours of the schools. We actually got a call from my school, O'Malley, and he helped out with an important situation already. So, I mean, he jumped right into action today and it went flawlessly. But like the chief said, this has been something I've had in mind since I worked prior to the police station at a special education school. So I've seen this work. I stand by this. If anybody has any questions about it, not you guys, but just in general, I'd be happy to field any questions with what Ace does, what Ace wears. I know people are asking a lot of what he wears. And if there's people watching that are concerned about that, it's actually called a gentle leader, and you can research it. I know that might be an issue that you guys might have come up, especially in the mayor's office. And if it does, there's plenty of research on it. It's not a muzzle. It just gently leads his face, just like what the name entails. It's just so I can lead him around children and keep his face at a safe distance, because even just today, we visited a couple of the special needs classrooms at West Parish, and the kids want to jump on him. They want to get in his face. They want to grab his face. And that gives me the ability to not pull Ace away because Ace wants to be in that situation, but just to keep Ace's face a safe distance from the kids.
All right. Awesome, Pete. Do we have any counselor questions or any comments from the council?
Steve, can I just add one more comment?
Yeah, go ahead, Mayor.
I really going, I won't mention names, but I mean, it was wonderful because, you know, I wanted to say thank you for supporting me and also for the incredible, amazing community and everyone's doing. So-and-so had a really bad day today at school, and because Ace was there with the officer, Sotera, she was able to calm down and tell someone how she was really feeling inside. I get emotional. You know what? That's really the best thing that's ever happened. And it's to see my daughter smile was the best thing ever. So you know what? It is. It's working without us even realizing. Thank you all for who supported the schools to be open to, the school committee. It's very important. And this just goes to show you that, you know, Gloucester did the right thing with the school, with the city, school committee, city council, and all of us. Just goes to show you that, you know what? Children do need to be in school, and children do need some kind of assistance. And that's great. That was the most wonderful thing. And I want to thank Mr. Sotera because he did work prior at a special needs school, and he realizes what was our need. And that's why I want to thank Ed. And first of all, John McCarthy, because John McCarthy saw that prior, and we started, you know, the cops and kids, and saying kids want to be around us. They want adults. They want that. And the programs that kept going forward is that. So I want to thank John because that initiative really gave us a foot in the door. And then Ed for seeing that his police department, what fits what role. You know, not everyone is good at this or that or whatever, but you know what? They are, and they bring something. And when he listens to his team and the teams bring something like this, it just proves that, you know what, we're all a team. There is no leader. So thank you all again, everyone, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilor Holmgren?
I just wanted to thank Chief Conley and Officer Sotera and Councilor McCarthy and Ace. You are a very good boy. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jen. Councilor O'Hara, I just want to announce Councilor O'Hara is at the meeting. He wasn't here a few minutes ago, but he is with us now. So Jamie, do you have something?
Yes, thank you. I just want to, for those of you who have not seen Officer Sotera at O'Malley and the work he does, he does absolutely amazing work with the students. He's a huge asset to the administration at the school, obviously, as well as the police department. And I can't say enough about Officer Sotera and the work he does. And I want to thank Councilor John McCarthy for appointing him to that position before he departed, and Chief Conley for continuing with Officer Sotera. I'm sure Ace will be an amazing asset to Officer Sotera. So Officer Sotera, thank you very much for everything you do for the students and the parents and the administration at O'Malley School.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
Here, buddy. Anybody, any other counselors would like to say anything? Counselor Gilman?
Thank you. I had the opportunity to meet Ace at the open door drop off on Saturday morning, and just the cutest thing. It's so well mannered. He could give our little Cooper some really good lessons right now on behavior. I love it. Is there an opportunity, do you think, down the road to bring Ace to do a couple of events with the seniors down at, when we get back to normal and we're able to go to the Rose Baker and maybe visit some of the seniors? I know that it's kind of earmarked for our students and he's going to be really busy, but I was just thinking that that would really make their days too. So just a thought. You don't have to answer it now, but
So they are in general trained for that. So whatever events the mayor would come up with or the chief or whatever, Ace is, just from being with him for 4 days, we're looking for any practice we can get. And today was great. We got to go around a couple of schools, but even just practice with people on the street. If people come up, I'm glad everybody, even the students at O'Malley, were really respectful today, asking if they could touch him, and they are allowed to, but I would rather just keep it as people asking, just to be safe, obviously, so people don't all crowd around him. But no, any practice he can get, I personally, whatever the mayor or the chief think is good for us to get into, I'm all for that, especially
Great.
with seniors. I think it would be great. And the mayor mentioned earlier about them being cooped up inside through all this stuff, and they can't be exposed to anything. And if they do open it partially, I mean, I think that would be incredible for them to just be able to not only get out, but to have this little guy come pay him a visit.
Val, we had a managers meeting today. We talked to Elise and we said, you know what? Some of these seniors have been in the house since March, and we do have the senior to go bus. And we figured, the senior center is big enough that we could have, by appointments, have 10 seniors, one just to sit in the art room to do something or the knitting, whatever, and then call Peter in to walk around and have that to let them know. So we plan on not opening publicly the senior center, but to get some seniors who are much needed to come out before they're stuck again in the house with the winter and the snow and ice. So, and we know we're going to get that. So we are working on that. And I know you're on the board and we'll keep you updated. So thank you. And we'll keep the city council updated. But yes, we're trying to, because just like our children, as seniors have been in the house and they need to come out. They really do. Some are so afraid, and we have to bring, I know they are. Look at that. Look at my Ace. Oh my God. So I told him, first of all, I was telling all the mayors, and I said it, that every mayor should have one. Put it all, walk around all the city buildings, because it's just great. It really is.
thank you
Mayor.
so much. Thank you all.
Councilor Mike.
Counselor Nolan?
I just want to thank Peter. I want to thank the Gloucester Police Department, the administration. It started with Mike Scola, who's done a wonderful job at the high school. And the kids get to know him. This was with Chief McCarthy and past chiefs before. We have a wonderful police department, and we're always looking to help people. With Peter Cetera, it's something that has been involved with special needs. He's been involved in the community, and he's obviously a dog person. So this is just one more step forward for what makes Gloucester great. And we just need to keep moving this momentum forward. Hopefully we end up with Foster for the high school, and also for more visits with the elderly or anybody else with disabilities. This is a great, great situation in a bad time where we need happy news. And I really appreciate this tonight.
Thank you, Sean. Anybody else? John, Council McCarthy?
I might be a little partial, but I think we have a great police department. And I remember Ed saying when he took over, Chief Conley, that he was looking at stealing this program out for Manchester. But instead he's taken it and built it and forwarded it. And I think he'd be the first to agree that it's the rank and file that make this happen. And when I was there, they were more than happy to go into the schools. Pete's done a great job at O'Malley. Mike's done a great job at the high school. Lieutenant Nicastro's done a great job building the program. But the whole police department as a whole all support this program, and they're all willing to go into the schools. They're all willing to visit the kids, and it's a great great bridge between the police department and the community, and especially the schools. And I'd like to congratulate the police department on building this to this level and keeping it going. So thank you.
Thank you, John. Any other counselors? All right, seeing none. Congratulations, Pete. I'm looking forward to meet Ace. So we'll have to set up a little time where we can get together one-on-one. My wife and I, we just got a dog a few months ago. He's 10 months old, and my heart smiles every time I come home, man. It's the best feeling in the world. So I'm really looking forward to meeting Ace and working with you guys. So, and we usually do this for everybody that comes up to council. If you need anything, you know, everybody up here on the panel, definitely reach out to any one of us for any questions, or maybe doing an event in our ward when we get back to normalcy and trying to introduce the dog to the rest of the public. I think it'd be great for everybody to meet him, to know what we're doing with them. So thank you, Chief. Thank you, Pete. I'm sure you're excited to get back to your family. So we're gonna cut you loose if there's nothing else from anybody else. All right. Have a good night, bud.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you for all the kind words and support, even in the meeting before, just to get the okay to get them. I appreciate everything you guys say. And I was listening. I just had to log in and do my gaming night. So I didn't have a chance to raise my hand and come in and say thank you. So I'm thanking you guys now.
No problem,
So,
pal.
thanks a lot, guys. Have a good
Take care.
Thanksgiving. Take care.
Thanks.
You
Happy
too.
Thanksgiving, everybody. Thank you for the support.
Thanks, Chief. All right, so up next, we're gonna have oral communications, but we're gonna do a quick little moment of silence for the fishing vessel Emmy Rose. So we haven't done many moments of silences since we've been doing Zoom, but I think, you know, with the fishing community, so we're gonna take a minute. So everybody just, we'll have a quick moment of silence for the fishing vessel Emmy Rose and their 4 passengers. Alrighty, thank you. I hope everything turns out well and we figure something out. Madam Clerk, can we have the next order of business, please?
Okay, would you like to just remind the people who are on the call how to, if they want to raise their hand? And did you do the introduction with the governor's orders?
I did that already.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
Okay, sorry. All right, so the next order of business is oral communications.
All right, so the public shall have every opportunity at the regularly scheduled meeting to be heard under oral communications on matters not appearing on the agenda. Oral communications shall allow any resident who has a request or complaint of any nature relative to city business to appear before the council, state their problem without debate, and the matter shall be referred to the proper agency through the office of the mayor. The resident will be notified within 2 weeks period relative to disposition of same, and a copy shall be forwarded to the city council. Persons speaking under oral communications shall be limited to 3 minutes each, and the council president shall not allow any complaints as to individual performance. So we're going to open up the oral communications, and if you are calling in on a telephone, you can press *9 to be recognized to speak. And if you are on a device or a computer, there's a raise hand button. So I will allow the first person. Marianne, can you have your name and address for the record, please?
Hi, Marianne Albert Boucher, 93 Mount Pleasant Avenue. I have two things that I would like to say. First, attending many meetings this year. I'm glad you are here, Mayor Safathia, because I really would like to address this to you. Being or attending the Zoom meetings, it's I don't always find that we know who all of the panelists are in these meetings. And I want to thank you, Steve, this evening for announcing all of the panelists. It's really important being on this end of the screen, knowing who is in attendance for panelists. I really wish that we could see the attendees because it would give me an idea as to how many people are attending a Zoom meeting. I think that's really important. So I would ask the mayor if she would make it a point to let other boards and committees know that it's really important to know who those panelists are that we can't always see. And the other thing I didn't expect to say is I think that getting this dog is one of the greatest things that this city could do. Living next to an elementary school, growing up with a yellow lab who spent 5 days a week in an elementary school, and the principal calling my mother probably 2 to 3 times a week, asking for my dog to come to school to help to stop a child from crying or help with a child in need. I think this is one of the greatest things that I've seen. So thank you to all of the people who took part in getting Ace. And he looks exactly like my granddog, so he's beautiful. So thank you.
Thank you, Mary Ann. We're going to try to make it a point. I meant to announce the attendees. We have 15 people in attendance. So I will announce that as we go along. If more people tune in, I will definitely announce the number of people. So we are going to make that a part of our meeting.
Thank you. I think it's critical. I
It
really
is.
do. You know, I attended a meeting a few weeks ago and had no idea who was in a meeting. And the next thing I knew, there was something in the newspaper with my name on it. And it was incorrect, inaccurate. And and that's why I'm here. I was not going to mention that, but I just want it to be known that we need to know. It's important. So thank you.
No problem. We'll get the word out for you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, up next, we have Patty. Name and address for the record, please.
Patty Amaral, 14 Myrtle Square.
Go ahead.
Hello. I think the dog is wonderful. We have softball buddies down at Mados Field when we do use our field, and they just love playing softball. So it's really great for special needs kids. I also wanted to say about the agendas and the meeting minutes. I have noticed on the city webpage that there's some boards and commissions that are not keeping this up. And I feel it's very necessary to keep that up so that we all know how government's running. And plus you want to be able to ask questions. You can't ask questions if you don't know what's going on. And my third thing today is to talk about the marijuana retail store that is proposed in my neighborhood. I have sent a letter to Safathia, Val, Barry, and one more person, I can't remember now. And this is not a good place for it. I ask everybody here if they would want it in their neighborhood. I see people do not want it. And the thing is, there are other ones in other cities, and they are far away from residential people. The other day I had a knock on my door in the morning, and a wonderful police officer came to my door, and he had a Coke bottle full of needles. And I know that a lot of stuff goes on over my Emerald Forest, and this is not going to help it. So I please ask that everyone think about that this is not the neighborhood for it to be. It needs to be away from people. So that, because we already have so much problems where we live. We put up with too much here. So I really ask that you think about not putting it there because the neighbors do not want it. And I hope that everybody received that letter. And because I didn't get any response from anyone, so I'm wondering if you did. So thank you very much. And I hope to get a response from this. So you said 2 weeks, I'll get a response, or before 2 weeks?
It'll up to 2 weeks, but we'll get you something right away. And just so you know that a lot of the boards and commissions haven't been meeting. Why
is that?
We're just starting some of this up, some of the essential ones like the Traffic Commission, Waterways Board and stuff like that. But some of these others, smaller ones really haven't been doing the meetings. But the ZBA and stuff like that, we'll make sure everything gets on the city website.
Yeah, because we could have, if the Historical Commission was meeting, they were more than happy to send us a letter from Mados Field, but we couldn't even get that because they're not meeting. I just don't understand why they can't do Zoom meetings when you can all do them and I'm doing them.
I think it's an IT thing, but we'll get you something in writing.
Technical, it's a technical thing?
Well, yeah, it's from our IT department has to do all the Zoom meetings, but we'll get it. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll get you some. I'm just giving you the gist of things, but we'll get you something right away.
Okay, wonderful. Thank
right,
you,
Hannah,
and have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too. Thank you, Patty. All right, is there anybody else that would like to speak under oral communications? All right, seeing none. Madam Clerk, can we have the next order of business, please?
Is the confirmation of new appointments.
Councilor Nolan.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So first we have IT Director Ryan Knowles. On a motion by the Ordinance Administration Committee, voted by roll call, 3 in favor, 0 opposed, to recommend the City Council appoint Ryan Knowles to the position of IT Director, term to expire 2/14/21, and I so move.
I'll second it.
Second.
Okay,
Second.
got a bunch of seconds. It's been made by Council Nolan. It's been seconded by Councilor Gilman. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Do we have Ryan with us this evening?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. There you go, Ryan. How are you? So you want to tell us a little bit about yourself for some of the members that haven't met you before?
Sure. So I'm a relatively new transplant. I live in Gloucester. I live on Prospect Street, right across from the senior center. And I came here in May, and I come from a background that is probably a little bit non-traditional as far as IT directors go, but I think that it works to my benefit in that I come from a background of seafood. I come from a background of academia, and then I also have, the past 5 years kind of taken on operations and IT as added skills, I guess, to the existing subset. So I come from the world of kind of retail entertainment, which is what I've been working in for the past couple of years. But as part of that, I have had the kind of what I would actually call the privilege of working with over 29 municipalities from the size of Linfield, Mass, Marlborough, that size, all the way up to Providence, Rhode Island, Portland, Maine, kind of, larger cities. And during that time, I kind of got, I guess, the municipal bug, and I always kind of said, this would be really interesting to work on, not on the side of asking for and applying for permits and variances and such like that, but to actually work, I guess, to further the mission of a municipality and to facilitate the work that is being done for the residents of a place. And then had the, I guess, interesting and fortuitous chance to apply for this position shortly after moving here. And, through going through the kind of interview with all of the other department heads, as well as with Mayor Taken, and just this week also being able to meet the folks that I'm going to be working with, Vicky and James and Brian. I'm really, really excited to step in. I'm going to start Monday, right after Thanksgiving. And I am just really excited to dive in and have make the kind of behind the scenes technical work that you don't probably want to hear about, but that you want it to work every day. And that's what it comes down to, I think, for everybody, is that the tech has to work, and if it doesn't, then I haven't done my job. So I'm really excited to jump in and to do, to facilitate all of those things, even if they are a little bit behind the scenes, even if they are a little bit, the best, I always think the best IT department is one that no one knows exists. So.
Awesome. Do we have anything from counselors?
Steve?
Go ahead, Sean.
I think that Ryan's energy is a positive motion in which he's following. The fact that he's worked with those cities and he's worked with different businesses to promote business through his job, through the internet and through IT, makes it more valuable for him in his position. And I'm very happy to support him tonight.
All right. Councilor Gilman?
Thank you, Counselor. One of the most important qualities of a great IT person is to have awesome interpersonal and communication skills, as well as technical skills. And it seems like you are very genuine and approachable, and I'm looking forward to working with you, Ryan. I think you're a great fit. So welcome to Gloucester.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anybody else before?
Yes. Ryan, don't run, because Val said she's looking forward to working with you. She'll give you 100,000 things to do. First of all, it was a great interview. We he had a second interview, and it was Holly, myself, and Vanessa on the second one. And we were pleased. We were pleased that, out of the 4 that we were in front of us, I was very pleased of his personality, his perception, what he can help do, how he knows that, the community, what he can do. I asked him about social media and all the other things that we needed to do to make sure that, the city stays updated with the IT. And like he said, he's not here to tell people what to do. He's here to help, and he's here to have a good team. And he met with the team earlier, and they're all pleased because they know, what, that's what it is. It's all about teamwork. It's not about, okay, I'm coming in and I'm going to tell people what to do. It's, okay, you know what, we all have our each little niche, and what are we going to do together, and how we can make, the mayor happy, because she'll scream at us, or Val will make us do too many things. No. And so it was a great fit for the city, as we need it right now. It's difficult when someone leaves and you always, well, this one did it this way, this one did it this way. Well, we don't do that. We do it like, what can you do for us? And that's how it was. And you'll see that with the next person that, is on with Lucas too, is, what can I do? How can I, make the city much better that we live in? So, what, also for the next one that's coming up. So thank you. And I hope that you support this nomination going through tonight.
All right. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Anybody else? All right. So Ryan, looking forward to working with you. And I'll tell you what, bud, as if this IT thing don't work out for you, you've got an awesome voice for radio, so you might have another career in the back there, buddy. So like a Don Imus type of voice. So you'd be excellent in radio. But I'll be your manager. So
Got
all right. All right. I'm going to call for the roll call vote. Council O'Hara,
Yes.
Councilor Pat,
Yes.
Councilor Cox is not with us this evening. Councilor Gilman,
Yes.
Councilor Holmgren,
Yes.
Councilor LeBlanc, yes. Councilor McCarthy,
Yes.
Councilor Memhard,
I'd say yes. And Ryan, please make sure you keep our IT department safe. Thank you.
and Councilor Nolan.
Yes.
Motion passes on a roll call vote of 8 in favor, 1 absent. So Ryan, thank you. And what we do, same thing with Peter on the call earlier. If you need anything from the council, definitely reach out to one of us. I'm sure you'll be hearing from some of us at some point, but we're looking forward to working for you, and anything you need from us, we're an open door, just like the mayor's office. Feel free to reach out to any one of us with anything, and we'll help you out, pal.
I appreciate it, and it goes this way too. As the mayor said, I'm here to serve. I'm here to help, and if there's something that I can do to achieve that, I am. If you've got 100,000 things to do, Val, I'm ready to do all of them and one more. So.
All right, awesome, buddy. Congratulations.
Careful.
Thank you, pal. All right, Councilor Nolan.
Next, we have the Gloucester Cultural Council and the recommendation for Lucas Cotterman. So on a motion, the Ordinance Administration Committee voted by roll call, 3 in favor, 0 opposed, to recommend that City Council appoint Lucas Cotterman to the Gloucester Cultural Council, term to expire 2/14/21. And I so move.
Second.
Moved by Councilor Nolan, seconded by Councilor O'Hara. Lucas, how are you, buddy?
Doing great, thank you.
Nice to have you here this evening. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself from some of the councilors that haven't met you yet?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I recognize some of you from Dogtown Books down on Main Street. Like Ryan, I'm a newish transplant. I've been in Gloucester for about 4 years, out in Magnolia. And my wife and I took over Dogtown Books when the previous owner retired. And I'm from the West Coast, and it was just such a wonderful experience to be, in this town with such a rich history of art and painting and sculpture and literature. And I don't think I'd lived in a place like that before. And one of our real goals was to do community outreach and get people involved and have, this wealth of local artists and authors come in and do presentations and performances. And we outgrew our space within about 2 months. And so we started hosting events at the Magma Center on Pleasant Street, and we benefited from some of these grants from the Gloucester Cultural Council. And I spoke with Sarah, who runs Magma, and I said, what is this? This is great. Like, this is a wonderful thing. Like, you get money for creating artwork that benefits the community. Like, that's wonderful. And so I met with Elizabeth, and some folks from the Mass Cultural Council, and looked at what they were funding, and it's just like the Cape Ann Symphony, the stuff at Magma, the Musery group that lends instruments to children. It's like it's incredible work, and I really just wanted to be involved in it, and it's been a great process, and I see enormous potential. We can really just push our outreach. We can connect with some underserved parts of Gloucester, and it's just a wonderful organization. It's a wonderful thing to have in a town like this.
Thank you, Lucas. Do we have any questions from the council? Councilor Nolan?
Not a question, more of a comment.
Narrative, go ahead.
Again, we're lucky to have someone that located here that wants to take up in participation with our local cultural, open a bookstore or take over a bookstore to bring in more of a artistic mind in reading and culture, and then step up in the neighborhoods to try to make things better. We're more than happy, and we should be very lucky to have Lucas come to our committee, and I definitely will support this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Any other councilors?
I was going to say the same thing, but Sean said it perfectly. So thank you, Lucas.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilor Holmgren?
Yes, I completely agree with Councilor Nolan and Mayor Taken, and Lucas, thank you very much for stepping up and volunteering.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, Lucas, same thing. Looking forward to working with you, and if you need anything, definitely reach out to any one of us, and we'll get you all the help we can.
Will do. Thank you.
All right, if there's nothing else, I will call for the roll call. Councilor O'Hara.
Yes.
Councilor Pett.
Yes, and thank you, Lucas, for stepping up and volunteering.
Councilor Gilman.
Yes, thank you.
Councilor Holmgren.
Yes.
Councilor LeBlanc. Yes. Councilor McCarthy.
Yes, and thank you for volunteering.
Councilor Memhard.
Yes, and welcome and thank you.
And Councilor Nolan.
Yes, and thank you, Lucas.
Yes, thank you, Lucas. The volunteer thing is huge. It's not for the volunteers of these boards and commissions. It may make the administration and the city council's job a lot harder. So what you guys do actually helps us out. So we appreciate anything. That's why I offer help back if you need anything. Definitely reach out. I'm sure we'll all give out our cell numbers and stuff like that. So if you need anything, just shoot us an email and we'll or a quick call and we'll see what we can do for you. But
much appreciated, and thank you all very much.
All right, so motion passes on a roll call vote of 8 in favor, 1 absent. Thank you, Lucas. And good luck, pal.
Thanks.
All right, so Madam Clerk, we have the next order of business, please.
The next order of business is the consent agenda.
All right, is there any councilors that would like to remove anything from the consent agenda? I would like to remove item number 1 under applications and petitions. Is there anybody else? All right, seeing none. I'd like to remove item number 1 under applications and petitions for the group petition under the city charter, section 9-1, regarding the use of the public land for a Gloucester police shooting range, and set the public hearing date for January 12th, 2021 city council meeting. And after that, I would entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda as amended.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
And moved by Councilor Holmgren and seconded by Councilor Gilman. And I will call for the roll call. Councilor O'Hara.
Yes.
Councilor Pett.
Yes.
Councilor Gilman.
Yes.
Councilor Holmgren.
Yes.
Councilor LeBlanc. Yes. Councilor McCarthy.
Yes.
Councilor Memhard.
Yes.
And Councilor Nolan.
Yes.
Motion passes to accept the consent agenda as amended on a roll call vote of 8 in favor, 1 absent. All right, Madam Clerk, next order of business, please.
Counselor, excuse me, do we need to vote what you took off?
No.
Okay.
We just did. We just voted it as amended. I asked for the amended consent agenda, and that was part of the amendment.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, we don't have to vote on it separately because it was included, but thank you. Madam Clerk, next order of business, please.
Next order of business is the Budget and Finance Standing Committee report of November 19th.
All right, so Councilor Cox is not with us this evening, so our Vice Chair, Scott Memhard, will be taking the role.
So we have a consent agenda, which I'd ask for a motion to accept unless there are any questions or anybody wants to take something off.
So moved.
Second.
All
Thank
right,
you.
Motion's been made by Councilor Gilman and seconded by Councilor Holmgren to accept the Budget and Finance unanimous consent agenda. I will call for the roll call vote. Councilor O'Hara,
Yes.
Councilor Pat,
Yes.
Councilor Gilman,
Yes.
Councilor Holmgren,
Yes.
Councilor LeBlanc, yes. Councilor McCarthy,
Yes.
Councilor Memhard,
Yes, thank you.
Councilor Nolan.
Yes.
Motion passes to accept the Budget and Finance consent agenda on a roll call vote of 8 in favor, 1 absent. All right, moving right along. Madam Clerk, next order of business, please.
The Ordinance and Administration Standing Committee report of November 15th.
Councilor Nolan. All right, well, there are no items under this this evening for this from Ordinance Administration. All right, Madam Clerk, next order of business.
The Planning and Development Standing Committee report of November.
Councilor Gilman.
There are no items to report under this heading.
All right, we're moving right along. Madam Clerk, next order of business, please.
Next order of business is the first public hearing 2020-032, tax classification in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 40, Section 5, and Gloucester Code of Ordinances, Chapter 2, Section 2-26, to determine the percentage of the local tax levy for the fiscal year 2021 to be borne by each class of real and personal property.
All right, everybody's favorite time of the year. So I will open the public hearing and continue it till December 8th, 2020. All right, the matter's been continued till December 8th. Madam Clerk, next order of business, please.
Next order of business is public hearing 2020-033, amend Gloucester zoning ordinance, section 5.32, temporary zoning relief to businesses during COVID-19 pandemic.
Thank you. I will open the public hearing and continue this matter till December 8th, also 2020. So this matter has been continued to December 8th. Madam Clerk, next order of business, please.
Is public hearing 2020-030, special city council permit 2020-005, Rocky Neck Avenue, number 37, map 130, lot 4A, Gloucester zoning ordinance, sections 2.3.17, conversion to or new multifamily or apartment dwelling, 4 to 6 dwelling units, and 3.2 dimensional tables, reduction in minimum lot area and open space per dwelling unit to create a 4th unit in the neighborhood business zone.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I will open the public hearing. This public hearing was continued, and I will defer this to our Planning and Development Chair, Councilor Gilman.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilors, as you recall, at our November 10th public hearing on 37 Rocky Neck Road, our council agreed to return this matter to P&D in order to vet the newly presented conditions proposed by applicant Attorney Favazza. So before Councilor President LeBlanc continues the public hearing, I want to update the council and the public on the new conditions in case you wish to ask further questions in tonight's continued public hearing. The information is included in the draft 11:18 minutes that are on the city website. The conditions read as follows. This relief granted by the City Council special permit is conditioned upon petitioner maintaining the front 2 rooms on the first floor of petitioner's condominium unit, the gallery, for use as a gallery or other gallery-related use. Petitioner shall allow third parties to operate the gallery, including but not limited to the Rocky Neck Art Colony, provided that petitioner does not charge such third parties rent. However, petitioner may require such third parties carry their own liability and hazard insurance and cover the actual cost of utilities consumed by the gallery. Should such use cease, petitioner shall have 120 days to seek modification of this city council special permit, failing which the city council special permit shall terminate. So that was the condition that we agreed to. And now, Counselor, I think we're ready to continue with the public hearing unless anyone has any questions.
Yeah, so any councilor questions on the new condition that's been presented before us this evening? All right. Let's see here. So no questions for Councilor Gilman? All right. Any questions for Councilor Attorney Favaza? Councilor Pat?
Thank you, Mr. President. And through you to our applicant and Attorney Favaza, the reason I would support this permit in a very densely crowded area that already has a number of issues related to it is because the art colony is extremely important. I think this opportunity would be great for them. However, if it ceases to be what happens, if the space ceases to act in that way, I would be totally opposed to the continued use of anyone coming back to us to amend the permit, et cetera. In my opinion, I would prefer that if it ceases to have that or ceases after a certain period of time, that the permit itself would be revoked. That I would not be in favor of doing that. It's just my comment as to my feelings, that I really feel that it needs to be tied to the continued use by someone for a gallery space at no charge, per se, like rent to someone for that purpose. And without it, I would not be, supporting it. Thank you.
If I may, for the record, Joel Favaza, Seaside Legal Solutions, 123 Main Street. Just in response to Councilor Pett, I don't think he'll be alone in feeling that way. I think that the Rocky Neck community would feel that way. I think that the other owners of units in that building would feel that way. And so I think it's pretty clear to both my client and anybody who else who might own this in the future that this is going to be a gallery, or there's going to be some changes in that building to those two units. Okay.
Thank you, Joel.
Thank you.
We're still in the councilor question period here of the amendment. Councilor Gilman.
Councilor Pett also had some questions that he asked Councilor, our attorney, Chip Payson, to be on the call. Councilor Pett, do you want to lead that conversation in terms of the questions that you wanted about a deed restriction versus conditions and other matters?
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Madam Chairperson, and Councilor Payson. Again, not being an attorney and not trying to, beat this horse, long past its passing. But again, I'm very strong in my feeling that we need to include some sort of language. And again, whether it's a deed restriction or something else, I just like your input as to how we make this motion specific, that if it does come to an end for it as a rent-free gallery type space, how do we ensure that then that sort of basically is the end of this?
Well, Counselor, I took a look at some of the cases, and the question of whether the city council has the power to require a deed restriction, I think, is a bit of an open issue. I think in the past, typically, It's been in conjunction with the applicant, where the applicant has offered a deed restriction and the council has accepted that. But I think requiring a deed restriction in this case would probably be rather heavy-handed. I watched the P&D Zoom meeting twice. And I think what's being proposed in the condition, and as P&D amended the condition, it is appropriate. Our zoning ordinance, as Attorney Favazza is probably aware, under Appendix A, Rule 25, states that the permit does not take effect until this decision has been recorded in the Registry of Deeds with the recording fee paid by the owner. So you're getting notice to anybody who might purchase that property. And I think Attorney Favazza stated the issue very clearly, that if, a violation of this is not really good for his client, he's got 120 days to cure it. And if he can't, then the city has a mechanism. Then his client's in violation of the zoning ordinance. The city's got a mechanism to kind of go after him and put some pressure on him to correct this. But I don't see, with the way the condition's worded, and if this were to pass with that condition, I don't see an issue where this could be circumvented somehow and the city's left holding the bag. I think, the applicant wants to work with the city. The applicant's proposing language. P&D's amended the language. The applicant seems fine with the language. I think the language is good, and I think it offers protections to the city. So,
Okay,
I hope
thank
that
you so
answers your
much.
question.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Thank you, Chip. Jamie, I'll get to you in 1 second. Also, Barry, this is a special council permit, so anything that goes along with the special council permit will have to come back to city council for approval or amendments. So that'll trigger anyway. So it won't be able to sneak anything under the radar, especially in that neighborhood where it's so densely populated that, if one person sees something, it'll be brought to our attention, and we'll ask him to come back in to review the council permit to make sure he's adhering to it. So that's another
Right.
mechanism.
Then, no, totally understand. I just wanted to make sure that as we made that amended wording is appropriate, and that council thinks that's the way to go. And I'm perfectly happy with that. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Councilor O'Hara?
Yes, Steve, I have no questions. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, pal. All right, any other councilor questions for the added language? All right, seeing none. So I will close the public hearing and call for the committee report. Councilor Gilman.
Thank you, Counselor. On a motion by Counselor Gilman, seconded by Counselor Holgram, the Planning and Development Committee voted by roll call, 3 in favor, Holgram, Pett, Gilman, 0 opposed, to recommend that the City Council grant to Seaside Legal Solutions, PC, on behalf of owner Mark Guterman, PR, a special council permit 2020-005, for the property located at Rocky Neck Avenue, number 37, Assessor's Map 130, Lot 4A, pursuant to Gloucester zoning ordinance, section 2.3.1.7, conversion to or new multi-family or apartment dwelling, 4 to 6 dwelling units, and section 3.2.2, dimensional requirements for multi-family dwellings and their accessory units, other than signs, footnote A, for reduction in minimum lot area and open space per dwelling unit to construct a 4th housing unit. This permit is made on the basis of plans and elevations dated August 10th, 1990, and submitted to the city clerk on September 16th, 2020, entitled 37 Rocky Neck Ave Condominium, and plans and elevations dated August 14th, 1990, and submitted to the city clerk on September 16th, 2020, entitled Phase Plan, Site Plan of 37 Rocky Neck Avenue Condominium, Gloucester, Massachusetts. This relief granted by the City Council special permit is conditioned upon petitioner maintaining the front 2 rooms on the first floor of petitioner's condominium unit, the gallery, for use as a gallery or other gallery-related use. Petitioner shall allow third parties to operate the gallery, including but not limited to the Rocky Neck Art Colony, provided that petitioner does not charge such third parties rent. However, petitioner may require such third parties carry their own liability and hazard insurance and cover the actual costs of utilities consumed by the gallery. Should such use cease, petitioner shall have 120 days to seek modification of the City Council special permit, failing which the City Council special permit shall terminate. Subject to new information or debate that results from the public hearing, this special council permit is deemed to be in harmony with the intent and purpose of the zoning ordinance, and I so move.
Second.
Been moved by Councilor Gilman, seconded by Councilor Holmgren. Councilor Gilman, do we have a narrative?
Thank you, Councilor. Councilors, in this district in Rocky Neck, we have in front of us a special council permit to convert the use from 3 to 4 residential units at 37 Rocky Neck Avenue per GZO 2.3.1.7 and outlined in GZO section 3.2.2 footnote A. This requires a standard to be applied that the reduction that is being allowed is in keeping with neighborhood character. Specifically, the applicant has requested a reduction in lot area and open space per dwelling unit, and the relief requested for 2,823.5 square feet of lot area. Specifically, there is currently 2,176 square feet and a half, and 5,000 square feet is needed. And for open space, 1,750 square feet and 3,500 square feet is needed. Our jobs as counselors is to discuss the standards to be applied under 1.8.3, and that this special council permit is keeping with neighborhood character and is deemed to be in harmony with the intent and purpose of the zoning ordinance. Our P&D committee voted 3 in favor, 0 opposed, that we felt that it did meet the conditions. And at this point, Councilor, I'll turn the meeting back to you to lead the discussion of the council on this matter. Thank you.
All right, is there any council discussion on this, on the standards for the special permit? All right, Councilor Gilman?
So I am going to support this motion because I believe that the social and community needs are served, as this fulfills a community need to preserve a historic art colony, which I think is noble. I think the fact that Mr. Guterman is offering a lovely gallery free of charge for various folks who might be interested to possibly include the Rocky Neck Art Colony is just a wonderful community gesture. And I think it's worthy of us allowing this 4th unit in a building that has 3, because basically it's hardly apparent to the eye to see this extra building or this extra condominium in this building. I think the modifications are quite simple. They're only 2 skylights and a dormer, and you really can't even see it. And we all understand that Rocky Neck is dense, but I think that this particular application fits into the neighborhood character, and I think it's a strong application, and I appreciate the applicant coming forward to run this by us. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Gilman. Very well said. You took the words right out of my mouth, and that's why I will be supporting this also. Councilor Holmgren.
That's exactly right. I was going to talk about, I mean, the low profile of the building, how it's not going to be significantly altered on the outside. I mean, Councilor Gilman really hit every point. I appreciate the applicant coming back to standing committee so that we could hammer it out further. And I'm very happy to support this tonight.
Thank you, Jen. Any other councilors? Councilor Memhard?
I'd just like to say, following up on Councillor Gilman has said, that the measures proposed here strike a very valuable and important balance to maintain the character of this diverse neighborhood while making it economically viable for the property owner. So I congratulate everybody for the efforts to massage this into place. And I think that it goes a long way towards maintaining the character that's so important to the Rocky Neck Art Colony and the entire Rocky Neck neighborhood. So thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Anybody? Councilor McCarthy?
Yes, I'm going to support this tonight. The open space factor of the permit, I think, is Smith Cove being its backyard and the Southeast Harbor being its front yard. I don't think open space is an issue here. I do think it's a very dense area, as other councilors have spoken, but under 1.8.3, I believe the agreement by the owner to allow the gallery to exist and outweighs any detrimental effect that it may have on the neighborhood. And I think that's allowed under 1.8.3, and that requirement has been met through this agreement by the applicant.
Thank you, John. Councilor O'Hara and then Councilor Nolan.
Thank you. I will be supporting this tonight. I believe that the applicant is doing wonderful things for our artists of East Gloucester and the city. There are so many artists out there that are struggling and working to make it, and to allow that space to be available is tremendous. He also will be putting a living space on the books. I think that the minor structural increase or improvements is minor in nature, and I think the overall project is beneficial to the neighborhood and to the city, and I thank him, and I will be supporting this again. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Councilor Nolan and then Councilor Pat.
I will be supporting this tonight. I looked at it in many various ways. I do believe it's an art colony, and we're always going to have a congested area with a parking situation. But I think in harmony with the neighborhood with 1.83, it's suited and needed, and with the opportunity to keep and maintain at a low cost for artists of some sort to maintain a studio there is beneficial to the city of Gloucester.
Thank you, Sean. Councilor Pat.
Yes, I have been in support of this project since day one, in the sense of the fact of how important the art colony is to Rocky Neck and to Gloucester. And I thank the applicant for the idea of having a free space for the art colony, or some, similar use, etc. And I thank the applicant and the attorney for being able to make some changes to the actual permit so that we can ensure that it stays that way going forward. And I'm going to be very much in support of this going forward as a positive thing under 1.8.3 for the city as a whole.
Thank you, Barry. Any other discussion? Seeing none, I will call for the roll call. Councilor O'Hara.
Yes.
Councilor Pep.
Yes.
Councilor Gilman.
Yes.
Councilor Holmgren.
Yes.
Councilor LeBlanc. Yes. Councilor McCarthy.
Yes.
Councilor Memhard.
Yes.
And Councilor Nolan.
Yes.
Motion passes to approve the special council permit on a roll call vote of 8 in favor, 1 absent. Thank you, Joel. We appreciate all your efforts.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the new space at the in the art district.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. All right.
Have a good night.
You too. Thank you. All right. Moving right along, Madam Clerk, can we have the next order of business, please?
Next order of business is for council vote. The city council's consideration of the land court judgment miscellaneous case number 19 MISC 000516 parentheses HPS regarding special city council permit 2019-006 East Main Street, number 116.
All right, so this is for council vote, and I just want to say a little something before we get this going. On November 2nd, 2020, Land Court Judge Howard Speicher issued an order annulling the City Council's decision denying 4 special council permits to the Bevilacqua Company for 116 East Main Street and ordered the City Council to issue the 4 permits within 30 days from the decision. While we, the City Council, are disappointed with this order, we are nevertheless required to follow it. We did have an executive session last week, and we weighed the positives and negatives of appealing this, and the not appealing this outweighed the trying to do this again, spending a ton of money, and coming back with the same decision. Therefore, we are going to be issuing the special council permits this evening. Is there anybody else that would like to add anything to this before we move forward with this? Councilor Gilman?
So we're gonna vote this first, correct? The motion to appeal?
Yes, we have 4
Okay.
council, we're gonna have 4 council vote. I'm gonna entertain a few motions to,
I understand that. I wanna first make sure that we,
well, there are 4 motions here. Well,
no,
actually,
I understand, but I think the first thing that we plan on doing is
for the
to
appeal.
the appeal. So I'd like to speak about that before we vote that. If
Okay.
that's okay.
All right, so I will entertain a motion to accept the land court judgment, miscellaneous case number 19, miscellaneous 000516, regarding the special council permit 2019-006 for East Main Street, number 116.
So moved.
Second.
All right, been moved by Council Holmgren, seconded by Council Gilman. Is there any discussion on this? Council Gilman.
So I personally am going to be voting against this motion because I do believe that we should be appealing the judge's decision. I just feel like on that night, we listened to 37 residents and we listened passionately. And I changed my mind because a resident of Gloucester, Maria Volante, she captured me and the comments that she made, and I changed my mind after P&D. And I think that it's important for counselors to always make sure that we listen in public hearing and listen to what people say and what we learn. Unfortunately, the judge didn't feel my comments were strongly enough worded in terms of density and in Rocky Neck. But I just stand tall on my decision, and I feel committed to the people that moved me enough to change my decision. So to the constituents who are disappointed with this decision, I do think it's important that everybody understands, as Councilor LeBlanc said so eloquently, that we did have a rigorous question and answer and executive session with our attorneys. And all of our questions were answered. And we looked very closely at our chances of winning the case versus not. And I just want to say, as Chair P&D, I am really proud of our committee's detailed vetting, rigorous discussions, and substantiated votes of our recent special council permits, including 35 Fuller Street, 105 Wingashiek, 1 Folly Point Road, and Atlantic Road. I think Zoom meetings have benefited well from us. We've been able to attend site visits and have really well-attended public hearings. So while I might not agree with my colleague's decision not to appeal this, I understand completely with your decisions, and it is the will of the committee, and I thank you for letting me speak my my thoughts on this. So thank you.
Thank you, Val. Anybody else? Okay, I'm going to support of not sending this back for the appeal for the reasons that we spoke under the executive session, and the possibility of, well, very strong possibility of not getting this in favor to pass again. So, all right, if there's nothing else, I will call for, oh, Council McCarthy.
Yes, I'd just like to say that I'm going to not support appealing this, that we did have a very rigorous and lengthy discussion, and we relied heavily on the city attorneys, as well as an outside attorney hired by the city and an attorney brought in for an independent opinion. And we were, I was convinced that bringing this forward stood little chance of overturned. And we are the keeper of the taxpayers' money as city councilors, and it's my opinion that it wouldn't have been behoovant to move this forward. So I'm not going to support.
Thank you, John. Council Holmgren.
I have one question for the benefit of the public. When will we release the executive committee minutes?
After we vote on this, we will put it on for the next city council meeting to release them.
Thank you.
Councilor Gilman.
I do have a technical question, a follow-up to Council Holgram.
Yes.
So when we vote the 4 permits, do we not have to do a motion to adopt at a later date on those? Or is our vote tonight final? Because the decision to adopt is another component of a special council permit. And we're kind of replicating the process right now. So I guess I would advocate that we'd have to do a decision to adopt, kind of
Yes.
summarizing this. So I just want to make sure that that would be part of that final step.
Yes, we do. Motion to adopt we have several of them, decision to adopt this evening for other special council permits we have. So this will be a follow-up down the road after we go through our procedure this evening. So yes.
Thank you, Councilor.
Is there any other councilors for the Councilor Pat?
Yes, just again, thank everyone for the updated discussion that we had in executive session. And I agree with what Councilor McCarthy said, that having listened to our city attorneys and 2 levels of outside counsel that verify that the chances of any success with overturning this would not be a smart use of taxpayers' money, and for that reason, I will be moved. I'll be voting to accept the land court's decision and move forward from here.
All right, thank you, Barry. Anybody else? All right, seeing none, we have a motion on the floor. We'll call for the roll call vote. Councilor O'Hara.
As painful as this is, I have to vote yes to move forward.
Thank you. Councilor Pat.
Same, and I vote yes.
Councilor Gilman. Bell, I didn't hear you.
Sorry, I just said no.
Okay, I didn't hear you, so I wanted to make sure
Thank
we
you.
got it. Councilor Holmgren.
Yes.
Councilor LeBlanc. Yes. Councilor McCarthy.
Yes.
Councilor Memhard.
Yes, and I hope we learn from this process so that we can cover ourselves in the future better, because this is a disappointment in terms of our vote. But yes.
And thank you, Scott, and we did learn. Councilor Nolan.
Unfortunately, yes.
All right, the motion to not appeal or to accept the land court's judgment passes on a roll call vote of 7 in favor, one opposed, and one absent.
I
All
would
right,
like to make a motion to reconsider.
I'll second that. All right, we have a motion to reconsider, and it's been seconded by Councilor LeBlanc, made by Councilor Holmgren. All right, I will call for the roll call. So if you want to reconsider, it's yes. If you want to stay with your vote, it's no. Councilor O'Hara,
No.
Councilor Pat,
No.
okay. Councilor Gilman,
Yes.
Councilor Holmgren,
No.
Councilor LeBlanc, no. Councilor McCarthy,
No.
Councilor Memard,
No.
Councilor Nolan.
No.
All right, a motion to,
Councilor LeBlanc, did you vote?
oh, Councilor LeBlanc? No, sorry.
I don't think you voted the last time either, actually.
I think I did.
Okay,
Yeah.
all
I
right.
did.
Then I missed it. Sorry.
Okay, I missed it too. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. All right.
Yes, Steve, going forward, we'll just get from you, yes, yes, no, yes, no, no,
mo-
yes.
So
And that's
motion,
it. And we won't have to ask you.
all right, motion to reconsider
Like Morse
fails,
code.
fails on a roll call vote of 7 in favor, 1 opposed. All right, we'll move on to the next motion. I will entertain a motion to grant a special council permit 2019-006 to the Bevilacqua Company Incorporated for a property owned by Sun LLC at East Main Street, number 116, map 59, lot 53, zone NB, neighborhood business, to build 2 buildings on the property consisting of 4 dwelling units each, for a total of 8 dwelling units pursuant to Gloucester zoning ordinance, section 1.8.3.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilor Pett, seconded by Councilor Holmgren. All right, any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the roll call vote. Councilor O'Hara,
Again, as painful as it is for me, I must say yes.
thank you. Councilor Pett,
Same feeling, but yes.
thank you, Barry. Councilor Gilman,
No.
Councilor Holmgren,
Yes.
Councilor LeBlanc, yes. Councilor McCarthy,
Yes.
Councilor Memhard,
Yes, again, to avoid spending good money after bad.
yep, and Councilor Nolan.
Yes.
Motion to grant the special permit passes on a roll call vote of 7 in favor, 1 opposed, and 1 absent.
Mr. President, I'd like to move to reconsider.
All right, I'll second that. So we've got a motion to reconsider. All right, same thing. Councilor O'Hara,
Yes.
you want to reconsider it? Okay. Councilor Pett,
No.
Councilor Gilman,
Yes.
Councilor Holmgren,
No.
Councilor LeBlanc, no. Councilor McCarthy,
No.
Councilor Memhard,
No.
Councilor Nolan.
No.
Motion to reconsider fails on a roll call vote of 2 in favor, 6 opposed, and 1 absent. All right, we'll go right along to the next one. I will entertain a motion to grant a special council permit 2019-006 to the Bevilacqua Company Incorporated for property owned by Sun LLC at East Main Street, number 116, map 59, lot 53, zone neighborhood business pursuant to the Gloucester zoning ordinance, section 2.3.1, subsection 8, conversion to a new multifamily or apartment dwelling, 7 or more dwelling units for an 8-unit residential use.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Council Holmgren, seconded by Councilor Pett. All right, any discussion on this? Councilor O'Hara,
Yes.
Councilor Pett,
Yes.
Councilor Gilman,
No.
Council Holmgren,
Yes.
Councilor LeBlanc, yes. Councilor McCarthy,
Yes.
Councilor Memhard,
Yes.
and Councilor Nolan.
Yes.
Motion passes to grant the permit on a roll call vote of 7 in favor, 1 opposed.
Mr. President, I'd like to move to reconsider.
I'll second that. All right, motion to reconsider. Councilor O'Hara,
Yes.
Councilor Pat,
No,
Councilor Gilman,
No, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm
Councilor
sorry.
Councilor Holmgren, I know it's confusing. Councilor Holmgren,
No.
Councilor LeBlanc, no. Councilor McCarthy,
No.
Councilor Memard,
No,
and Councilor Nolan.
No.
Motion to reconsider passes on a roll call vote. 6, 2 in favor, 6 opposed. All right, and let's see, we have 2 more motions here. I will accept a motion to grant a special council permit 2019-006 to the Bevilacqua Company Incorporated for a property owned by Sun LLC at East Main Street, number 116, map 59, lot 53, zone neighborhood business pursuant to Gloucester zoning ordinance, section 3.2.2, FN subsection E, distance between principal buildings.
Second.
No, we need to move it first and then a second.
So moved.
Moved by Council Holmgren, seconded by Councilor, was that you, Sean?
Yep.
Councilor Nolan. All right. Any discussion on this? All right, roll call vote. Councilor O'Hara,
Yes.
Councilor Pat,
yes,
Councilor Gilman,
No,
Councilor Holmgren,
Yes.
Councilor LeBlanc, yes. Councilor McCarthy,
Yes.
Councilor Memhard,
yes,
and Councilor Nolan.
Yes.
Motion passes to grant the special council permit on a roll call vote of 7 in favor, 1 opposed, and 1 absent. And we
Mr.
have,
President, I'd like to make a motion to reconsider.
I'll second it. Motion to reconsider. Councilor O'Hara,
Yes.
Councilor Pat,
no,
Councilor Gilman,
yes,
Councilor Gilman, I'm sorry, Councilor Holmgren.
No.
Councilor LeBlanc, no. Councilor McCarthy,
No.
Councilor Memhard,
no,
and Councilor Nolan.
No.
Motion to reconsider fails on a roll call vote of 2 in favor, 6 opposed, and 1 absent. And we have our last motion here. I'll entertain a motion to grant a special council permit 2019-006 to the Bevilacqua Company Incorporated for property owned by Sun LLC at East Main Street, number 116, map 59, lot 53, zone neighborhood business pursuant to Gloucester zoning ordinance, section 3.2.2, subsection A, minimum lot area per dwelling unit and a minimum open space per dwelling unit.
Second.
It's got to get moved.
So moved.
Moved by
Oh,
Council.
second.
Moved by Councilor Nolan, seconded by Councilor Holmgren. I know. All right, any discussion on this? This was last motion here. All right, Councilor, I'll call for the roll call. Councilor O'Hara,
Yes.
Councilor Pat,
yes,
Councilor Gilman,
no,
Councilor Holmgren,
Yes.
Councilor LeBlanc, yes. Councilor McCarthy,
Yes.
Councilor Memhard,
yes,
and Councilor Nolan.
Yes.
Motion to grant the special permit passes on a roll call vote of 7 in favor, 1 opposed, and 1 absent. Jen,
Mr. President, for the final time, I'd like to make a motion to reconsider.
and I'll second that. All right, motion to reconsider. Councilor O'Hara,
Yes.
Councilor Pat,
no,
Councilor Gilman,
yes,
Councilor Holmgren,
No.
Councilor LeBlanc, no. Councilor McCarthy,
No.
Councilor Memhard,
no,
Councilor Nolan.
No.
Motion fails to reconsider on a roll call vote of 2 in favor, 6 opposed, and 1 absent. All right, thank you, everybody. We are going to have a press release. We have a team that's going to put this out right after the vote this evening, which will allow the public to understand what we did this evening and why we did it. It was very thoroughly thought out by myself, Councilor Gilman, and General Counsel Chip Payson, and our acting CAO, Vanessa Krosick, to come up with the right verbiage for this so we can put it out, and everybody will be able to read this and understand why we did this evening. As Councilor Memhard said, instead of throwing good money away after bad, this was the reason why, and it'll explain a little bit more in the press release. So thank you, everyone, for this emotional and tough decision this evening. I know it hit us all. Councilor Gilman?
Yeah, I just have a technical question.
Yes.
So if we have to wait until we do a motion to adopt this vote, does that preclude the developer from beginning to build now? Does he have to wait until we vote that motion to adopt, Attorney Payson, through Councilor LeBlanc?
Chip.
Yeah, I think that he does. Yes.
Yep. Right, because we were ordered to issue the permits within 30 days. So after we've issued the permits, now it's standard procedure as us as a city council to have those permits stamped and a decision to adopt at our next council meeting.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you to
So-
our attorneys too.
So if he proceeds, he's doing so at his own risk.
He is doing so at his own risk, yes. I mean, it's a very low risk, but nevertheless, that's correct, Councilor Memhard.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Chip. All right, so that was our first item. Our next item, Madam Clerk, can we have the next order of business, please?
Next order of business is decision to adopt special city council permit 2020-001, Wingasheet Road, number 105, map 261, lot 31. Gloucester zoning ordinance sections 1.8.3 standard to be applied and 3.1.6 parentheses B, building heights in excess of 35 feet in an R20 low medium density residential district.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So I will entertain a motion to adopt the special council permit decision for special council permit 2020-001 for Wingasheet Road, number 105, pursuant to section 1.8.3 and section 3.1.6 subsection B of the Gloucester zoning ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Councilor Gilman, seconded by Councilor Holmgren. She beat you, Sean.
I know.
I will be quiet for the next one.
All right.
That one was John's ward, right?
So this is a motion to a decision to adopt, and I will start off with Councilor O'Hara,
Yes.
Councilor Pat,
Yes.
Councilor Gilman,
Yes.
Councilor Holmgren,
Yes.
Councilor LeBlanc, yes. Councilor McCarthy,
Yes.
Councilor Memhard,
Steve, just to be clear, we're adopting our decision, which was to deny. And yes,
yes. So you're what was it again, Scott? Yes.
yes.
Thank you. Just making sure, because we were talking over each other. I just want to make sure we get it for the record with you clearly stating it. And Councilor Nolan.
Yes.
All right, motion to adopt has been on a roll call, passes on a roll call vote of 8 in favor, 1 absent. Madam Clerk, next order of business, please.
Next order of business is decision to adopt special city council permit 2020-003 Atlantic Road, number 163, formerly part of number 171, map 73, lot 41, a portion of former map 73, lot 26. Gloucester zoning ordinance sections 1.8.3 standard to be applied, 3.1.6B, building heights in excess of 35 feet, 3.2.2 footnote E, dimensional requirements for multifamily dwellings and their accessory uses, parentheses other than signs, reduction in distance between buildings, section 2.3.1 parentheses 8, conversion to new or multifamily or apartment dwelling 7 or more dwelling units, section 5.7.5, special permit criteria for a major project, section 1.10.1 parentheses A, parentheses 1, parentheses 2, jurisdiction of the city council and the R20 low medium density residential district.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. A little bit of heavy lifting for you this evening. All right, so I will entertain a motion to adopt the special council permit decision for special council permit 2020-003 for Atlantic Road number 163 pursuant to section 1.8.3 and section 3.1.6 subsection B and 3.2.2 subsection E and section 2.3.1 subsection 8, section 5.7.5, section 1.10.1 subsection A, subsection 1 and subsection 2 of the Gloucester zoning ordinance.
So moved.
Oh, Sean got it before me.
All right,
It's your neighborhood.
so Sean's made a
God's
motion.
favor.
Val, will you second it?
I'll second it. Thank
All
you.
right, motion's been made by Councilor Nolan, seconded by Councilor Gilman. And Councilor O'Hara,
Yes.
Councilor Pat,
Yes.
Councilor Gilman,
Yes.
Councilor Holmgren,
Yes.
Councilor LeBlanc, yes, Councilor McCarthy,
Yes.
Councilor Memhard,
Yes.
Councilor Nolan.
Yes.
All right, motion for the decision to adopt passes on a roll call vote with 8 in favor, 1 absent. All right, Madam Clerk, next order of business, please.
Is decision to adopt special city council permit 2020-004, Folly Point Road number 1, map 146, lot 28, Gloucester zoning ordinance section 3.1.6 parentheses B, building heights in excess of 35 feet in an R20 district.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I will entertain a motion to adopt special council permit decision for special council permit 2020-004 for Folly Point Road number 1 pursuant to section 1.8.3 and section 3.1.6 subsection B of the Gloucester zoning ordinance.
So
So
moved.
moved.
All right.
Second.
This one is my ward, Barry.
Yeah, that's it. But I didn't understand Sean's comment before, so I wanted to get in ahead of you.
That used to be my ward.
It's been moved by Councilor Gilman, seconded by Councilor Pat. Thank you, guys. All right, Councilor O'Hara,
Yes.
Councilor Pat,
Yes.
Councilor Gilman,
Yes.
Councilor Holmgren,
Yes.
Councilor LeBlanc, yes. Councilor McCarthy,
Yes.
Councilor Memhard,
Yes.
and Councilor Nolan.
Yes.
Motion to adopt passes on a roll call vote of 8 in favor, 1 absent. All right, thank you, councilors.
Council, may I just speak just for a second?
Absolutely.
I just want to do a little cheerleading. So, councilors, we entered this pandemic not knowing how we were going to handle site visits and maintain social distancing. And we did it. And it was really because we were all willing to be safe and do the right things. And I think it's been a good balance. And I just want to thank my colleagues for having the courage to do this, because we were able to do this, we were able to keep momentum going in the city and to do it in a fair way. So I'm proud of us, and I just wanted to take a moment after we were adopting all these motions to adopt to say thank you for a job well done, councilors. I appreciate it.
Crazy. Thank you, Val.
Thank you, Val.
Who knew we were going to get this all in at the end of the year? There was no sight, there was no end in sight, but we did it. Council Holmgren.
I'd like to piggyback on what Councilor Gilman said and thank her for her leadership in not only making sure that site visits are safe and that our process has improved tremendously since the lessons that we took away from 116 East Main Street. So Val, thank you very, very much. I truly mean it. It has made a world of difference both on the council and in the community.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Jen.
Counselor. I appreciate it.
Anybody else, any closing statements before we move on to our mayor's request? Councilor Pat?
Yeah, just to piggyback on all of that, I know sometimes Council Gilman, I may say that you seem to get too tedious and down into the trenches, et cetera, but it is through your leadership on all these special council permits that I think we're on sound ground with our decisions after the lessons that well, at least the previous council or whatever had learned, and that we're doing it correctly. And we can feel confident that our votes have been doing that. I want to thank you for your leadership in doing that.
Sean, Council Nolan, thank you, Barry.
Yeah, thank you for everything, Val, but I still have to say O&A rules.
I'm biased, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but who has more potholes, me or you?
I believe at this point you do.
All right, is there anybody else? All right, so I just want to piggyback on everything too. We truly are a team, and I am blessed to be part of this team. And to, you know, at the beginning of this pandemic, there was no end in sight for any of this. We all decided on not pursuing these special council permits while we were during this pandemic to work out all these bugs on these Zoom meetings, to make sure that we had it down pat, to make sure that the public was aware, that we were as transparent as possible. And we came to the conclusion that these Zoom meetings were efficient. More people were able to join. The site visits were very safe, social distance. Thank you, Councilor Gilman, for doing that. But I'm proud of our team to get where we were. I'm sure that it was frustrating for all these applicants waiting to get these jobs and these permits done so they could get their projects moving forward. But we had to do it, and I'm sure we had plenty of public input. I think on a couple of these, we had over 100 attendees that wanted to speak. We had a couple of late nights. And I just want to say that I am proud to be part of your team, and thank you guys for all your leadership too, because we all feed off of each other. So I thank you, and I'm happy we got through this year. So let's look forward to next year, and hopefully good things will come. You know, so great job, team, and I appreciate every single one of you that we do everything that we do. To every last I and T dotted and crossed. So great job, everyone. And that's on the special council permits. So Madam Clerk, we have the next order of business, please.
Next order of business is request to the mayor.
All right, I will start off from my left and go back down to my bottom right. So I'll start off with Councilor McCarthy.
No request for the mayor, just everybody have a happy and safe Thanksgiving.
You too, John. Thank you. Councilor Pett.
Yes, again, what Councilor McCarthy said, I hope everyone has a safe and happy Thanksgiving. But I would also ask that through the mayor or whatever, that we send a special thanks to our United States Coast Guard. We thank them for everything they do each and every day on a regular basis, but especially now when, as soon as word came that there was a loss of a vessel, U.S. Coast Guard cutter Key Largo departed immediately for the scene, and Station Gloucester sent one of its 47s, et cetera. They've been a huge part of this, and I want to make sure that they get our thanks, not only for their daily tasks, but for the immediate response to help those in our community.
Thank you. Just so you know, I've been in contact daily with both the commander here in Boston and in Maine, sending our best wishes and regards and our hearts and prayers to all of them, including the Coast Guard, the family, and the owner of the Emily Rose. Just so you know that, I've been in contact daily with our Harbor Master's office, who've been in contact with them too. So yes, we have thanked him. Yes, and I'm now talking with one of the owner, the wife Betsy. She says she's never seen such a great outstanding outpour from the city of Gloucester, between the Fishermen's Wives, the Massachusetts Fishermen's Support Center, and everyone else. She says it's just amazing. We are very fortunate here. And I says, yes, we are. So everyone, thank you. She thanks you, and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilor Holmgren.
I want to just express my thanks, not only to you, my council team, but to the mayor and city administration and city staff. I was just thinking about how this pandemic has brought out the best in people, and our city has an incredibly talented pool of individuals working for it. But I am sure that when they took the jobs that they're in, they never imagined that they would have to face the demands that they face every single day. And they have done it with grace and with aplomb, and sacrificing vacation time and sleep and time with their families. So I do hope that everybody has a very good Thanksgiving. And I just want to tell you how much we appreciate all of you.
Thank you, Jen. Councilor Memard?
I'd just like to thank all of you for what you just have said and the tributes you've given. And I'd urge everyone to please be very careful and please stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Councilor Nolan?
Yeah, I want to echo everything that's been said before. We live in a great community, and speaking of great communities, I'd like to thank Ringo Tar for still managing to get us Christmas tree. It may not be a huge celebration, but it's still very sentimental to us. And it'll be nice to see that lit up. And him and his family have been through an awful lot lately, and they still managed to prevail like the great family they are. And I want to thank them.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. Councilor O'Hara?
I just want to mimic everything that's been said and extend a sincere thank you, as we all do, to the men and women from the armed forces, all branches that protect us in our country and throughout the world on a daily basis, 24/7. I want to thank them with sincere gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you,
Happy
Jamie.
Thanksgiving to everyone.
You too, buddy. Councilor Gilman?
Yeah, I have to echo what everyone has said. I also want to just say thanks to all our first responders, our teachers, our nurses, our healthcare professionals, our grocery workers, our city staff. We've been through a lot, and we're in it together. So thank you. Happy Thanksgiving all.
Thank you, Val. And I just want to announce a couple of things. The mayor and I have been in discussion with the fees, the structured fees for businesses. We're going to try to see what we can do and see if we can pull a rabbit out of the hat and possibly do something. We're not sure what we're able to do yet, but we are doing our research, and we will, as soon as we find out if we can or what we can, we will let everybody know so we can pass it on to the constituents and the business owners. I want to thank the Coast Guard. I grew up in a fishing family. I lived with my grandparents. My grandfather owned a fishing vessel, wooden trawler, and I'll never forget the Mayday call that we got one night. And my grandfather and my uncles went overboard. The boat sank, and they were successfully plucked from the water. But you know, that was one of the scariest nights of my life, not knowing if they were coming home or not. But they did return safely. And I want to wish everybody a happy and safe Thanksgiving. Stay socially distanced, protect the vulnerable, and everybody have a safe holiday. And that's basically it for me. So great job, everyone, this evening. I know it was a tough one to some of the decisions to adopt, but we did what we had to do. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn if there's nothing else. All right.
Second.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilor
Let
Nolan.
Barry get the second on this one. I've been hogging.
I think it was Jamie with the second.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. All right. Councilor O'Hara.
Yes.
Councilor Pett.
Yes.
Councilor Gilman.
Yes.
Councilor Holmgren.
Yes.
Thank you. Councilor LeBlanc. Yes. Councilor McCarthy.
Yes.
Councilor Memhard.
Yes, I'll vote for that.
And Councilor Nolan.
Yes.
All right. We're adjourned. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Have a safe week.
Thanksgiving. Thank you all.
You too.
See ya.
Bye-bye.